This is the program that shows you the side of police chase videos they didn't want you to see. Bungled arrests, kamikaze crooks and cop-based carnage of all kinds. Welcome to Cops Uncut, the real car crash TV. Coming up on Cops Uncut, this suspect takes it to the bridge. An absent-minded motorist finds out about life in the fast lane. And the police play dodgems with some dodgy geezers.
Taking off again.
The Highway Patrol in Des Moines, Iowa are keeping their eyes peeled for a tan-coloured Oldsmobile which is wanted in connection with a drug deal. And it's just flashed past right under the nose of this patrol car. The driver is one Steve Sims, and perhaps he has some English ancestry because when the cops find him, he's driving on the left-hand side of the road. He veers back to the right momentarily, but obeying traffic laws just doesn't seem to be Sims's cup of tea, as a succession of oncoming cars discover at the last possible second. In fact, Sims is keen to flout convention at every turn, and before long he's jumped the curb and mounted the sidewalk too. Or should that be the pavement? The pursuing officer must be breathing a sigh of relief when they reach a marginally less congested stretch of road. But if this guy ever gets caught, he clearly wants to have racked up as many violations as he can in as short a time as possible. So why bother waiting for the traffic lights to change when you can take a shortcut through the nearest shopping centre car park? If he could just work out what Sims was going to do next, this cop might be able to try a pit manoeuvre. But pinning this guy down is proving to be quite a challenge. Sims's car must be surrounded by some kind of force field, as no object, moving or stationary, seems capable of hitting it. For his next trick, he jumps a red light and turns left into the path of yet another group of astonished motorists. At last, the chase is down to a more manageable speed. But when he does get close enough for a spin-out, the officer is left high and dry. And Sims barely bats an eyelid. Like some kind of wind-up toy, wherever you point him, he just keeps on moving. By now, their support has arrived, and the number of police cruisers in pursuit has gone from 1 to approximately 15. This is obviously too much for Sims to handle, and it should come as no surprise that he finally crashes on the opposite side of the road. Once he's out from behind the wheel of the car, Sims looks in no fit state to outrun the cops. But he's so distressed about getting caught that he sets off on a suicide mission. Over that fence is a 100-foot drop, and it takes a whole rugby scrum of rozzers to pull him back from the brink. In Sims's city, there are more near misses than an Aeroflot flying school as he takes his Oldsmobile for an all-terrain test drive. And when the cops do catch up with him, it really has been a bridge too far. Still to come in part 1. One plucky pensioner loses his marbles, and this suspect tries to keep his homegrown hidden.
All this stupid shit for a joint. Taking off again.
Now it's time to meet that rarest of creatures, a sensitive and intelligent American cop. Officer James Connley likes to let the lawbreakers come to him, in this case, a local youth on his motorized scooter. Connley's probably glad that none of his colleagues are around to see him, because if they were, they might think that he was being outrun by an electric razor on wheels. It's a close shave, but Connley finally catches up with the offending gadget around the next bend.
You just ran a stop sign back there. I just gassed up at someone. I understand. I need a driver's license. Driver's license? Yeah.
This child's toy?
I was on the street. I drive down the street in a motor vehicle. I just got this sale today, and I hear you. I understand. You can't have it out here. I need a driver's license or something. All I'm doing is just getting gassed up. I understand. I know how to gas a machine up, but you can't be driving down the middle of the road here.
With such a tiny tank to fill, that was probably the cheapest trip to the gas station of all time.
Connley? I'll be back with you.
Connley is pushing for a driver's license, but judging by the bum fluff on his top lip, this kid is barely old enough to take his cycling proficiency test. And if Connley threatens to tell his mum, he might just burst into tears.
So you're going to push this thing home. The next time I get any reports in the area of the scooter, I'm going to come looking for you. If I see you, I'll put you in jail. You can't have it out here.
Walking that particular scooter home may well work out quicker than riding it, so Connley's probably doing him a favour.
Right there if I wanted to ride it. Okay. But it's a sunny day, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt because you're being polite, but you gotta push it home. Okay. There you go.
This scooting scallywag was on a high, but now he's going home on foot. Now here's a little challenge for you. See if you could spot what's wrong with this picture. Nothing out of the ordinary here, you might think. Just a white sedan cruising along the freeway in Amarillo, Texas. Have you guessed yet? How about now? Yes, that's correct. Everything is exactly as it should be, apart from one key fact. This car is driving down the fast lane in the wrong direction. With a name like his, Edward Crockett Green might sound like he's just walked out of a cowboy film. But he has in fact just walked out of an Alzheimer's ward in an old people's home. No one knows how he managed to get himself into such a sticky situation in the first place, least of all Green himself, but there's only one way out, and it's not a U-turn. Sufferers from Alzheimer's are normally just a bit scatty, but put them behind the wheel of a car and they become as dangerous as a psychopathic serial killer on the rampage. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt in the smash. Instead of showing them the way to Amarillo, this senile stuntman put the cops on the road to hell. It wasn't me, Gov. Meet James Caldwell, the fibber from Florida, who's in his rather run-down back garden.
What you take your jacket off for? You ain't got nothing in it, dude. Care if I search it? You don't care?
There's something strange going on with Caldwell's jacket.
Go in there, you won't hide. Nothing.
If he's got nothing to hide, then you may well wonder why he's being so incredibly evasive.
Put your hands out your pocket. Take your jacket off.
Why are you doing it?
Take your jacket off.
Quit grabbing me.
Take your jacket off. Don't run from me, okay?
Why are you guys up here?
Take your jacket off.
No.
In fact, he couldn't be more suspicious if he was carrying a sack with the word swag written on it in big letters.
What's the problem? What did I do?
Theft of electricity for right now, okay?
Well,
You putting your hands on me?
No,
Listen,
you grabbed me.
you're under arrest for theft of
You
electricity,
grabbed
okay?
me.
For the past few months, Caldwell has been stealing electricity via a crafty cable hooked up to his neighbour's house.
James, don't fight with me.
What?
James, get out!
And the reason he's so paranoid is what he's been using the electricity for.
Get on the ground.
All right, please excuse me.
Get on the ground.
I apologize.
Get on the ground.
I'll do whatever you say.
Get on the ground then.
I'll do whatever you say.
Get on the ground.
Please forgive.
All right, I'll forgive you. Get on the ground.
You see, Caldwell is running a marijuana farm in his basement.
Why you want to do some stupid stuff like that, man? Huh?
You already searched my jacket.
Well, I'm gonna search it again now,
right.
because you're trying to hide something.
So, do you think you can guess what's in his jacket pocket now?
I got nothing in there, but you already searched it one time.
Lean up against the car. I didn't search it, I just patted you down.
The more you try to deny something, the more suspicious you look.
What did you have in here?
Thought I had a joint in that pocket right there.
All this stupid shit for a joint? All this crazy shit for a joint? You threw it on the ground. You ain't stupid.
But Caldwell doesn't know when to stop.
Searched my jacket.
This pothead's pot plants didn't get him high, they just landed him in high court, and instead of smoking joints, he's now in the joint. There are 3 people in the car in front, and they've just left a restaurant in Livonia, Michigan. But the breakfast menu must have been below par, so instead of paying the bill, they decided to rob the place at gunpoint and drive away as fast as possible. Not having received a tip, staff at the restaurant give the police a tip-off, so now these disgruntled diners have got company, and plenty of it. I'm sure you've heard of good cop, bad cop. Well, Michigan Highway Patrol don't like to pussyfoot around, and their technique is more along the lines of bad cop, bad cop. This potty-mouthed officer has succeeded in blowing out the robber's back window. But with the memory of second-rate hash browns and overcooked eggs still fresh in their minds, they aren't in the mood for prison food quite yet. They've had enough of the freeway and decide to try their luck elsewhere, careering through the nearest off-ramp and hanging a hair-raising left turn. For the moment, being on a residential street doesn't seem to have slowed them down in the slightest. If you look carefully, you can just about see them up ahead. Perhaps this getaway driver is colour-blind, because for the next couple of miles, he manages to jump a succession of red lights. Miraculously, no one is unfortunate enough to cross his path, as the only time he even thinks about using his brakes is when the lights are green. Despite having a car which is, as they say, very good in a straight line, these restaurant robbers seem keen to give up their advantage and start looking for a place to turn off. The longer you keep these cops waiting, the more you're going to have them frothing at the mouth. And at the first turn of the steering wheel, it's time to move in for the kill. With a 2-pronged pit maneuver. And some more triumphantly bad language. Thank you for that, officer. Within seconds, plenty more insults are being hurled at the hapless crooks as enough backup arrives to police a medium-sized country. I bet they're wishing they stayed at home for breakfast now. When confronted with a car full of armed robbers, this is one bunch of cops who aren't going to waste time with the softly approach.
Taking off again.
Still to come in part 2. The K9 unit shows some dogged persistence, and this suspect is stunned into submission. Sometimes the cops get accused of being trigger happy, but it's not always guns they like to fire. How long is a piece of string? Well, in this case, it's long enough to be connected to a spike strip, which this officer has just thrown across the freeway. It's for the benefit of a fleeing felon who's speeding his way towards us in his pickup. And there's certainly no danger of this man getting lonely out here in the wilderness, because he's got no less than 5 cop cruisers to keep him company. Everything goes according to plan as the spike strip works its magic. And his truck swerves into a ditch a couple of 100 yards up the road. If nothing else, the suspect knows when he's outnumbered and puts his hand up for a textbook surrender. Now, instead of cop cars on his tail, he's got guns pointing in his face and plenty of them. For a brief moment, it looks as if he's ordered his 2 pet dogs to attack, but they're just hoping for a game of fetch. With his playful mutts vying for attention, the suspect gives the cops a piece of his mind whilst they move in to make the arrest. Perhaps he's just insulted someone's mother or questioned their sexuality, because this suspect soon finds himself on the receiving end of 50,000 volts. With enough manpower to restrain a wrestling team, these cops could have had the handcuffs on in no time. But why opt for subtlety when you can whip out your taser gun instead? So time for a quick recap. Verbal abuse is not a genuine threat to your safety. And when your suspect puts his hands up, it's because he wants to come quietly, not because he wants you to connect him to the national grid. Class dismissed. Now it's time to take to the air with a little bit of help from our night vision camera. A couple of crooks are on the run, but the K9 unit is closing in.
They're running.
This suspect is already on the verge of becoming a dog's dinner.
Okay, I don't know where the other guy is. The other guy's behind him. The guy's dog's in foot pursuit at this point, and we got to take down at least one. There should be one still back in the other area.
It's all very well taking Rover for a walk, but you're not going to stand a chance if you try to outrun him.
They got him.
As his partner in crime gets turned into dog food, the other suspect appears to be hiding out in the bushes. But even from this copper's chopper, it's difficult to see exactly where. While the ghost-like figures of his colleagues continue their search on the ground, the co-pilot keeps an eye out for the hotspots. And after some concerted hovering, he thinks he's found something on the infrared.
I see something white in there. Be careful, there might be someone in there. Keep coming, right up in there. He's in there, Dave, I see him. He's running towards the car now.
Although the suspect is making a run for it, he can't be feeling particularly optimistic about his chances, as it would appear that he's decided to cut out the middleman and go straight to the courthouse.
Yeah, I think he's hiding in between these 2 houses, guys. No, he's hiding against the wall right here.
Like so many criminals before him, what he's also failed to realize is that the helicopter overhead can see exactly where he is.
He's right on the corner of that house. Watch yourself, right along the tree there.
Time to let the dogs out again.
Right there, dog's right on him, right there. He's running again for the dog.
As an officer bumps into the suspect, Beavis and Butthead here seem to be enjoying the show.
Dog's getting his hook out. Yeah, this is awesome. Took his shirt off. Oh, man, yeah. All right, let's go. We're still on him. Oh, he's going in the house. He just went in the back of the house. Yeah, okay, guys, you saw where he went. I have no obs.
Minus his shirt and with a few bite marks on his arse, The suspect seeks refuge indoors, but there's no room at the inn.
Did y'all get him?
Yeah, 10-4, 10-15.
Good deal, good job.
And he's soon being led away to the security of a patrol car. As these two doggone delinquents discovered to their cost, man's best friend can be a criminal's worst enemy.
Taking off again.
They say that you should fight fire with fire, but sometimes the contest between police and perpetrator isn't such a fair one. The driver of the truck up ahead thinks that he can shake off this patrol car by taking it on a zigzagging diversion through the back streets. It's dark, it's dusty, and there are more bumps than a children's birthday party. But there's a special surprise in store when this crook finally comes a cropper. You've got to take your hat off to these cops because, let's face it, if you didn't, they'd take it off for you. Sometimes the police like to use their squad cars as battering rams, and they're not always fussed about what they hit, as this chase goes from being in the hood to on the hood.
Taking off again.
So what have we learnt today on Cops Uncut? One getaway car is no match for a fleet of cruisers. Don't leave the car keys where your granddad might get hold of them. And you might feel pretty run down if the cops get hold of you. Be careful out there.